On this week's The Campus Report, we're talking about University of Southern California's newest travel warning for international students. The school is urging them to return to campus by January 13th ahead of President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration on the 20th. USC is citing the possibility of new executive orders that could impact visas or international travel. Joining me to talk about this a bit more is USC student journalist Payton May for The Campus Report. First of all, Payton, thank you so much for coming in. Great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really great to be here today.
Well, I know you've been talking to a lot of these students about this, and these international students, and it was interesting because we reported on this letter that USC sent out talking about these executive orders, but not saying what the executive orders are because they don't exist yet, which may have also been triggering. I mean, how are international students feeling about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I got a lot of nuanced responses. I had a lot of students that weren't even familiar with this letter that was sent out or received it and didn't really know what to make of it, especially for students that may not follow American politics as closely. This letter didn't really have a lot of details. They didn't really know what to make of it. So I definitely got some mixed responses on campus.
Which is so interesting because I think people figured that might be the case. So let's hear a little bit of these interviews that Payton had on campus with some of these international students. We can talk about to Payton on the other side.
Well, I do have concerns about this because I do need to renew my visa, so I guess I'll just do it over the break, before January.
Donald Trump, himself, is definitely a threat to international students. I know that he had a lot of policies that it's threatening us to come back to USC or US as a general. So I think definitely if the university wants us to come back early, that's something that we should probably be afraid of, I guess.
Well, when I first read the email, I did get a little scared. But I'm going to study abroad next semester, so it didn't really affect me that much.
As far as I abide by the rules and the regulations that are imposed on my visa status, and as long as I do not do anything that affects my visa status, then I think that I am good to go back to my own country and come back worry-free.
Well, you really do have a diversity of thought there because you have someone who's saying, I'm pragmatic, I follow the rules, so it's not going to affect me. Others being like, hey, I have my political feelings, as you can tell, and I think that I should be worried. You talked a bit about the kind of diversity of thought, but part of it is also just finding the students to talk to, especially when it comes to political things that can be difficult.
Absolutely, yeah. I went up to a lot of students who clearly had opinions about it. They said, yes, I had thoughts, I had a strong reaction to this email. I don't feel comfortable speaking on camera about this issue, about politics in general. I spoke in particular to a few students who told me they were from the Middle East, which is because why they wouldn't speak to me. They didn't feel safe speaking about their opinion or comfortable speaking out. So it definitely was hard to talk to students, but I'm thankful for the ones that did speak to me and were able to share their mind about this topic.
It really does showcase and frame something that we think about a lot when it comes to what we do here in journalism, because we have these subjects that we want to tell these stories with.
Right.
So you experience that firsthand. And by the way, Payton is one of those student journalists there at USC that's anchoring newscasts at USC. So she knows all about this stuff already, but you get to experience it in a new way, which is really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Payton, thank you so much for coming in. Great job, great reporting.
Thank you.
Appreciate you having here. It's a campus report. We do this with USC Annenberg students all the time. Payton, obviously one of the faces of where this entire profession is going and learning a bit about how difficult it can be at times to get those interviews along the way. Payton, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.